Welcome to the Wolverine Digest podcast, the best spot for objective and authentic coverage of Michigan athletics. If you want open dialogue, honest opinions, and in-depth coverage of the maize and blue, this is the podcast for you. And now, here's your host, Brandon Brown, joined as always by Chris Breiler.
I just want to start by saying go blue.
Listen, Christopher.
I don't know if it's because you got a new phone. Well, yes. First, the most important news of the day right now so far is that I don't know if it's because of the new phone or what it is, but 7:00 on the dot. Your boys are here. Boys are here. Game week, Monday, 7:00 on the dot.
Jamie Quick wants a shout out and a little bit of this.
Jamie Quick, go blue.
Uncle Mikey in the house.
Uncle Mikey in the house.
Is that a new beard?
Right.
That's not a new beard for Chris. Chris has had that beard since he was 11, I think.
You know what? I've shaved it off a couple of times in my life, and it's not a pretty sight. You don't want to see what's under here. I do look like a man-child. I have no jaw. I got no chin.
Bob is pumped about the more shows, so are we.
Oh, 5 shows this week.
AJ Cooper, it is the most wonderful time of the year. I'm not sure. What's the 11 in reference to, Mr. Brian Petrosky? Did we say something?
You said I've had a beard since I was 11.
Since he was 11.
Yeah.
Well, there's Ryler confirming the 11-year-old beard.
In one of the cruel twists of irony, I pretty much got hair everywhere on my body except for where you would traditionally want it, which is on your head.
There you go. I've seen it. I've seen it.
I've seen them.
It's frightening. All right.
Yeah.
If you can't tell, we're in a good mood. The homies are in a good mood. There's a little pep in the step. We've been teasing a little bit. We've been massaging the teat out there.
Well, should we let them know, like, what is it you're even talking about right now? So we've been alluding to something, right?
We've been alluding to something. We've been teasing a large development. It's an announcement. It's a phenomenon. It's a movement. It's a lifestyle, if you will.
It really is a lifestyle.
It's going to be a lifestyle for us. There's no doubt about it. And we are so pumped and so excited to unveil this right now. We're going to do this first. We've got over 100 people in here already. I'm excited to roll this out. And then we're going to talk about it and what it means for us and what it will all entail this season. And I could not be more excited. Chris, shall we?
We shall. Your boys are pulling up. Your boys are pulling up in 2022. Soak it in. Take a look at it. Come into your city. It's happening. It's happening. We're here.
Dude. Get you some of that. One more time for the pimps. So we did something. Your boys bought an RV.
We did.
We wrapped it. It's branded. It's the command center. I mean, dude, the excitement level that Chris and I have had today, we just picked it up, finished today.
We did.
This thing is, I mean, dude, we both we both have children, but we both said like this is like our baby right here. And dude, Chris, his wife, the absolute MVPs on this thing. We're gonna get into some discussion about how this thing came about.
Yeah.
You know what went into it, and I had some stuff scheduled here in the late part of August that we knew. First of all, we bought this when, Chris? 28 days ago?
Yeah, roughly 28 days ago. Roughly 28 days ago.
So 28 days ago, right around 4 weeks ago. Oh, imagine if y'all get the internet. We got the internet.
We got it. We have internet.
There's TVs. There's video games. There's audio equipment. There's video equipment.
Well, I think we should talk a little bit about.
All right,
so listen. Yeah, here's what we'll do. So the unveiling of this is
Uncle Mike. Nice tires. For those of you who don't know, that's my Uncle Mike. He owns a tire store. We blasted up to Oscoda, got 7 bad boys on that thing, brand new rubber, wrapped it all the way around. She's ready for the road. That's all.
She is ready for the road. And you know what? There's a pretty cool story there too that we'll talk about the tires. But here's the thing. The first thing I want to do is, because there's so much to say about this thing. The first thing I want to do is, can you pull the picture back up real quick?
Absolutely.
So if you can see there beneath the that big window right behind the driver's side next to the QR code, it says Mediascapes. These guys out of Burton, if you guys don't know anything about Mediascapes, if not for that group and that team, this isn't happening right now. And some of the other cool stuff that we're going to be bringing you here in the very near future as a result does not happen without Mediascapes. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about them. I think we're actually going to do a podcast from their location this week, but Mediascapes came through in the clutch. They got this thing wrapped. They took our idea and they turned it into a reality, man. And it's phenomenal. And what that means for you guys, I think, is the most important part, is that Brandon and I, your boys, every Saturday, whether it's home or on the road, are going to be posted up doing a live pregame show out of the RV. We've got the address. We'll give it to you guys. We want you to come hang with your boys. We want you to come check it out. We want you to come say hello. We're going to have giveaways. We're going to have potentially food, maybe some spirits, potentially some alcohol available. There's going to be a lot of things going on at the RV. We got some big plans for it. But the biggest thing is, we want this to be a collaborative thing with you guys. Like, usually we go to the game, we go up in the press box and we do our thing, but now we're going to be there early. We're going to be stationed out. We're about 100 yards away from the big house. So it's an easy walk, easy place to find us. And I just think it's going to be incredible, man.
We are, if you drew a line from the 50-yard line of the stadium directly out across Main Street and up into a neighborhood, that's where we're at. You almost can't find a better location. We went back and forth on some different ideas where we might want to be, where can we be, where can't we be. If we're in location A, what can we do there? If we're in location B, what can we do there? We ultimately feel like this is going to be the best of all worlds. I don't know if we're going to say just yet. I mean, Chris and I haven't really talked about like disclosing the exact location yet. I mean, it's not going to be a secret, but we just want to make sure we're not stepping on toes, and that the people that are accommodating us, I think, are.
Can I put it this way? It's not a parking lot. It's not a business. This is in an area where it's very conducive to people just hanging out and tailgating, having a good time right near the stadium. And so the fact that, look, again, it goes back to like, there's more people that we have to thank in this, and we'll get to that. But, 26 days ago, we didn't have any of this. Now we have an RV fully wrapped, branded, ready for a live show, and a place to park it outside of the big house every single Saturday. And it's really a testament to, this vision has been a long time in the making, and so many people helped make it come together here in the last hour. And it's just been really cool to be a part of it. And so I hope fans come out and see us and come visit.
Amazing so far. We have a couple of stories. Let's get right into the first one. So Chris and I, we roll out to buy this bad boy, right? It's been sitting a little while. Guy was a minute. Cool. Let us know. Hey, you're going to need some new rubber on this thing, man. The tires aren't in the best of shape. We kind of checked them out. Yeah, left front, little wonky. Left rear on the inside of the dually. Not good.
Not good.
We're going to drive it slow. We got a little bit of a trip to take her back home. We can do it, man. No big deal. I'm driving behind. Chris is rolling up front in the RV. Take it away, Chris.
Well, I was cruising at about, I don't know, about 55, 60 mile an hour. I was feeling good. There was a vibration initially, and then the vibration sort of worked itself out, and we were cruising along, and I've got the window open next to me. And listen, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced, yes, CJ Frazier, we will be in Iowa with that thing. I look forward to seeing you out there. I don't know if anybody out there has ever experienced a tire exploding next to their head. But I'm going down what amounts to like a small highway, 55, 60 mile an hour. And the front driver's side tire in this thing explodes. I mean, shrapnel everywhere. I felt like what it must be like in a war zone when a bomb goes off and everybody's trying to figure out like what the hell just happened. The RV starts to cross over the center line because I've got no control of this thing now. I've lost control of the RV. Was fortunately able to maneuver this thing, get it back over to the side without any damage to the RV. And what's really incredible about this whole thing is that I don't know if anybody's ever had this happen before, but there was a person that just sort of like appeared in this white vehicle. They were coming the opposite way when I crossed the center line. Had it been somebody else, who knows? There could have been a head-on collision there, but this person was going slow. They were in a white car. After we pull over to the side, they get out of the vehicle. They don't say anything to Brandon and I. They're about 100 yards away from where we're at. They're where all the shrapnel is.
Right.
And she just starts sweeping the street with a broom, cleaning up our mess as if she was just there to do that. Like that she was just part of the whole process.
A higher power, if you will.
Right. A higher power, I guess is what I'm saying. And after that, she didn't even say anything to us. She just got in her car and left. And so that is a small snapshot of what it's been like working on this project. And just even when things go wrong, people have just, dude, the guy that came and replaced the tire that got us the rest of the way he just happened to be coming through.
Just incredible. Just an absolute gem of a man. He's out there sweating, dude. It was so hot that day too. This was back during, you guys remember.
And you know your boys like to sweat. We sweat.
Yeah. There's a stretch of time where it was 90s and it was blazing hot out there, and we're trying to figure out this tire thing, and dude came out there and just hooked it up. So there's another big thank you to that guy. His name was Jeff. I don't remember the exact establishment that he worked for, but dude was a soldier, man. He was out there for us, man. He was on the front lines. I mentioned my Uncle Mike. I was joking around about it, but man, we got the RV. I called my Uncle Mike the next day. He had 7 brand new tires ready for us. We rolled up there in my dad's truck, picked them all up, got them put on. Little local establishment in New Lothrop. Had a few ups and downs with that one, but they also came through. Got the new rubber put on there so we could drive this thing around. Took it out to Flint, out to Mediascapes, and dude, they have been absolutely phenomenal throughout this whole process. There's, like Chris said, there's been a lot of people who have helped make this thing a reality, and it is crazy that it is a reality now. When I saw Chris rolling up in that thing on Main Street today, got a little video of it. You'll see a little glimpse of that later. We took a few shots of it, took a few photos. It's here, man. It's here.
And you know what? Ironic.
Incredible.
While we're on the show, I literally just got a message. Somebody saw us parked outside of Wolverine State Brewing Company there. They saw the RV posted up there in the back. So, yeah, man, it's been, your uncle with the tires. I mean, he came through, the guys over at Mediascapes. It's just, yes, it will be loaded with hail wine. Once I'm able to
I forget it.
Hall. It was just an L. It was an extra L. But once I'm able to actually get my bearings, today has just been a day, man. But once I'm able to get my bearings, there's a lot of people we got to my wife being one of them. I mean, my wife was inside the RV painting, doing all the work that needed to be done in there. It's just been a total team effort. And again, I go back to what we hope it means for you guys is, we're hanging out. It's now a collaborative effort. We're doing a live show pregame. You're able to come out and, sort of take that in and maybe do some giveaways or do some other fun games. But we want to make this as interactive as we possibly can. We talk to you guys every day of the week, and I feel like I know some of you, but I've never even seen you. So I feel like this is a necessary step.
I'm hoping I'm not overstepping. I'm not going to put too much out there yet because it's not done, but I see some people asking about the inside. I'm just going to do a quick little preview, Chris. I hope that's cool.
Yes,
but again,
absolutely.
Wife, I mean, there's a little bit of a glimpse of some of the work they've done, some repainting.
That's a fireplace down there. I don't know if you can see the fireplace, but it's in there. We went with a franchise black for the interior. We put the new flooring down. So, yeah, man, we're
So we'll obviously have some more on that throughout the week. Chris and I are going to try to get together a couple times this week and put some finishing touch. I mean, it's serviceable right now. We could pull up to a game tomorrow morning and be good to go. But we've got some things that we want to add to it so that we're truly, truly ready to roll out on Saturday. And we will be there on Saturday for the first game. The second week of the season, the Hawaii game, the 7:00 kick, that is going to be an all-day affair. And man, dude, it
Which
just
means there is no excuse if you're in Ann Arbor to not come and see the guys. We're going to be out there all day.
I saw somebody asking 1,000% we'll have a box fan in that bad boy for the overnight trips on the road. It's all coming together. It's all coming together. So there is our big announcement. I hope it lived up to the expectations in the billing. I know it did for us. When we picked that thing up today and we got a chance to see it driving and moving and get some photos of it, like it just, dude, I was like jumping out by the road. Like people like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? I'm like,
I could see Brandon off in the distance. He was wearing a white polo and there was just a guy like outside of the stadium. Just, yeah.
I was fist bumping, dude. It was and yes, Douglas, we fully intend to have some interviews with players. I mean, that's some of the kinks we got to work out as we get into the season, like where we're located at, what the timing looks like. So yeah, I mean, that's the plan. Haven't lined anything like that up yet, but we certainly feel good about the possibilities there. And I'm just excited, dude. It's gonna open up so many opportunities for us on a lot of fronts. And it's just now getting started because we literally just got it back done today. The outside done. The inside's not quite there yet, but we're getting there. And like I said, in a pinch, it could be serviceable and ready to roll. So there you go. There you go on that. A little bit more house cleaning, man. We are back to our crazy schedule that me and Chris are excited about, though, man. 5 shows a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, pregame, postgame. And just to recap for you guys, if you forgot about what it looked like last year, I know we did. Like, I forgot what the weeks looked like last year. I had to go back and look at my schedule and what we did on every Monday. So starting next week, because some of the stuff is hinges upon the previous game, but starting on every Monday, we will revisit our predictions and our scores that we talk about, kind of go over what we missed on, what we were right on. We will do TFG. That is returning every Monday. We'll do that tonight. We will go over the Pro Football Focus top performers and low performers. We did that last year. Just a really good way to kind of launch off and talk about some stuff that actually took place in the game. And then one of our favorite segments, Burning Questions. We will do that tonight. We've got 5 apiece, so that becomes a Monday staple. On Wednesday, we're excited about this, man. Me and Chris talked about it. Yeah. We are going to do some sort of opponent preview, but I don't think we're going to have a guest every time. Maybe here and there, but it's not going to be something that we change.
Basically, what we're saying we're not going to do is we had a guy on last year from Ohio State, and it pissed everybody off, and we learned our lesson. We're not doing that again.
Sorry, Brendan. He's actually a nice guy, I promise.
I'm sure he is, but unfortunately, he's a Buckeye. So
there you go. So we're going to change that up a little bit. We will do something with the opponent preview on Wednesday. We haven't exactly determined a formula for that yet, but the biggest thing that we're excited about for Wednesday is fan-led Wednesdays. Like, that's going to be the bulk of the show. Hundreds of people in here, questions coming in so fast that we can't even get to them. And that's exactly where we're going to be at on Wednesday. So every Wednesday, 7:00, please tune in. Come with your questions. Throw anything you want at us, and we are going to go through and get as many of those as we can. I'm pretty sure we've never got to all of them because there's just too many. But, like, that's what's awesome about this and what it's kind of turned into. And we're excited about doing that through the whole year this year because we were talking about this. I don't think we did that last year till the latter part of the year, or maybe even when the season was over.
Right. So, and to be honest, a lot of we have a general outline of what we want to talk about, but we look over in the comments and a lot of good talking points are coming from the people that are watching. And we want to give you guys Wednesday as a full day, and we'll try to get to as many of as we can. But like Brandon said, I know for a fact I don't think we've ever come close to getting through all the questions.
Just too much interaction, which again, we love when that happens, man. It's what makes this so much fun and why it's worked so well. On Friday, we then shift into You're Dumb, You're Smart. Chris gets to adamantly call me dumb or smart. If my predictions sound reasonable, we go over that. We look at the specifics of what might happen in the game. We talk about the big games in the Big Ten. We talk about the lame games in the Big Ten. We do our over-unders. That's kind of like another angle of predictions. And then we also do a little place your bet. I'm a little bit of a gambler. I've been known to put a little money down on a game.
Listen, little I don't know if
I may have tuned into like a Wofford Citadel basketball game last year on like a Wednesday afternoon. All right. It's fine. We'll talk about placing your bets. We'll talk about the ranked matchups. We'll go through. We'll look at the spreads. We'll give our takes. Just something fun to kind of look at the overall landscape of college football. And then, then it's kind of getting ready for the pregame, which again, this year, hey, we're going to be finding out a little bit on our own as we go here Saturday because we're doing it live out at the tailgate
spot. We'll do it live. Why do we not have that as a drop?
We probably should. Yeah, we probably should. I'll get that lined up. But the plan is to have speakers broadcasting the pregame and postgame show live we'll be in the RV doing it, but the speakers will be pumping it out outside. And then we'll also be broadcasting live on video like we always do. So we've got some things to kind of iron out and figure out with that, but we could not be more excited about it. So again, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7:00, Saturday pregame, again, depending on when the kickoff is and how long we're going to go and what time. And the same thing with postgame. When the game is over, you'll hear from us immediately. So, I'm out of breath, dude. I'm so excited and so tired about this week, dude. I can't even freaking wait, dude. I can't wait.
What do we? Are we getting into a segment right now? What do we have?
I'm trying to catch my breath a little bit. Outdoor TVs.
Yes. Well,
it's on the docket.
Those are coming. And I'll tell you what else is coming. Everybody. How about maybe a little pregame Madden station or college football, NCAA football station, where if you feel like you're up to the challenge, maybe you can come take one of us on. We can see how well you do, maybe for a giveaway. But yeah, man, I mean, things are going to be happening outside of this RV, and the location is a huge part of why that's able to happen.
Yeah, so we're just to the moon, man. We're super pumped about it. It all came together. We weren't sure. It's not quite done yet, but we're good, man. We will be there with bells on Saturday.
Oh yeah,
ready to rock, dude. Hey,
yes,
Randall.
Yes,
cash app all you want, dude.
We'll start a GoFundMe for the TVs, the stripper pole, whatever you guys want in there. You just we'll start the GoFundMe.
Listen, I mean, that's an incredible gesture. It's not something we're asking for, but hey, if people walk up and want to throw some bills at your boys, we're not going to turn them away. So there you go.
Last thing on this, Tim. Yes, and for anybody who jumped in, apparel is going to be a big part of what we do with this RV, and again, it's going to be something that you just don't really see out there. I don't know that it's going to be available week 1, but certainly for week 2, we're going to have some cool stuff for you. So yeah, the snapback hats are coming, different t-shirt styles are coming, and you guys are going to be able to get that stuff right at the RV. So we'll put out the address. We'll put together a game plan, but yes, it's not just us broadcasting from it. There's going to be a lot going on throughout the year, and we're excited about it.
And we are idea guys, man. Let me tell you, we are both kind of cut from the same cloth when it comes to, I mean, I don't know, dude. And we're partnering with somebody at Mediascapes. I don't know. We haven't thrown his name out there yet, Chris. I don't know if you want to or if that's part
Rich
of the
from Mediascapes. If you have a business and you're trying to do anything with your business, you want to make a splash, you want to get noticed, you want something creative, you want some help from somebody from the outside who can maybe give you a fresh perspective, you want somebody who can take pictures and do video. Rich at Mediascapes. He is the dude. I don't think there's a damn thing that he doesn't have. Every interaction I've had with him, I'd be like, man, it'd be cool if we could do this. And he's like, oh yeah, I got that. I got a couple of those. So we'll get into it. I think we're going to have Rich on the show. Rich is a guy that you guys just need to hear from. You got to see him. He's, I mean, great guy. What they do over there at Mediascapes and Burton is just incredible. And like I said, if not for them, this isn't happening right now. So they are a massive, massive part of what we're doing here.
Absolutely. And Antoine, I mean, not like College Game Day is doing their thing, but we are going to talk about the game, and not by the stadium. Maybe you weren't here earlier. We've got a spot. If you draw a line from the 50-yard line right out of the stadium across Main Street and keep going up Berkeley Street, that's where we're up there. So we'll talk more about the location and get that a little bit more solidified, and just make sure, like I said, we're not overstepping our bounds a little bit.
The location will at some point here in the near future, we'll give out the location. We just want to make sure that we've had all the necessary conversations that need to take place on our end first. But there's no question you guys will know exactly where we're at on game day. Correct.
So there you go. So we're just pumped. We're pumped. If you can't tell, we've been talking about it for 25 minutes. All right, let's get into something else.
Let's do it.
It's TFG. It's back, dude.
Oh boy. Oh boy. We're going right into it.
It's back.
This fucking guy.
Couldn't find the right button. I'm like, where the hell did that button
This
go?
fucking guy.
I mean, Chris, at this point, do we just need to rename it to the Scott Frost Award?
It's getting pretty damn close.
I mean,
Listen, it's only weeks. It's only week 0, and he's about to be make the second appearance on TFG. What's up with that?
I mean, dude, you're up 11 late in the third quarter, and you kick an onside kick, and you lose to your double-digit underdog in Dublin, week 0, in front of everybody.
And then you shit on your offensive coordinator.
When this is supposed to be your year, we were so close last year.
Herb Street picked him to win the division.
All these freaking single possession losses were ready this year. We are finally ready to.
They were puking a lot in practice, right? Wasn't there a lot of puking
Oh,
happening?
we're puking, man. We're just getting after it, dude. Getting after it. I mean, and then they go to Ireland, and you get one of those. You get one of those. You get 2 of those, dude. It was terrible.
Yeah.
It was a terrible game. I mean, Casey Thompson, transferred in from Texas, looked really good in the first half, and then I don't know, it just wasn't the same guy in the second half. The onside kick, dude. I've never. Why?
Well, he said we wanted to be aggressive and we thought we could put the game away, but just kick the damn ball deep and let your defense work.
Dude, there's like
you're up 2 possessions
left in the third. Who's talking about putting the game away with half the quarter left in the third quarter? What are you doing?
He's weird.
I'll tell you this, dude. I've certainly been wrong about stuff in my life when it comes to sports. I don't think I've ever been more wrong about a coach than Scott Frost.
Yeah, that seemed like that was going to be, it was on par with, it felt like with Harbaugh coming back to Michigan, Scott Frost, it felt like it was going to be something special. And I saw this the other day, and I don't know if the numbers are correct, but I believe this is the stat that they put up Bo Pelini and what his final record was as a head coach at Nebraska when he got fired. And that if Scott Frost won the next 50 straight games, he would still have a worse record than Bo Pelini. So, I mean, put that into perspective.
That's crazy, dude.
He's just been awful. And I can't, look, I know that it's hard to recruit out there in Nebraska because who the hell wants to go out to Nebraska?
Yeah.
But around that area, I mean, Nebraska traditionally has been a solid team. And it seems like, ever since Frost has been there, it's been a disaster.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I've always known about the challenges of being at a place like Nebraska, recruiting to Lincoln and just being out there. And now they're, they were Big 12 and now they're Big 10, and it's just kind of weird. And I get it, but like if I thought anybody could figure that out or plug and play a system in and make it work, I thought it would be Scott Frost because he had an absolute machine rolling down at UCF. And I just was like, all right, well, now everything he's done there, he's going to take and do it at Nebraska on a bigger stage with a bigger budget, more resources. I don't know, dude. I cannot believe how poorly that has gone for Scott Frost in Nebraska. And he is forever
this fucking guy.
The TFG. I mean,
hold on. I'm going to need you to run it back because I've actually got another TFG. I've got another. Let's get the music. Let's get the music going back. Now, listen, we're going to have a little bit of friendly fire here, but I think it's okay.
This fucking guy.
I love Desmond Howard. Love him. Number 21, Heisman pose. But, dude, this college football playoff bracket prediction, like, I don't know what the hell he was doing there. Like, I could see Texas A&M and Michigan, but Pittsburgh and Baylor? Was there anybody that saw that and thought, like, yeah, that's pretty solid? I mean, no Alabama, no Ohio State, no SEC
this
teams.
Guy.
He might have been, maybe it was trying to take a shot at the SEC and just be like, I'm not going to include them in a damn thing. But that was weird. That was weird. But we must protect Desmond Howard at all costs because no matter what the pick is on Saturday, if Michigan's on the table, he's picking the Block M, and I love him for it.
I feel like that was I see someone calling him Uncle Dez. I feel like that was him, like at the grill at the cookout, like Baylor about to make that shit. I'm like, what are you doing, Dez?
Have you seen Pittsburgh?
Did you not have some time to do a little research and figure out who might make the playoff? Because it's just not going to be those teams, dude. I mean, like, get like, every year, whether it's the NCAA tournament or like you got to take some flyers on some people because it's never chalk. It's not. I mean, college football is pretty freaking close. It's pretty chalky. I mean, like the teams that are the teams are going to be there. But like, three of those teams probably aren't going to make it. It's just like, what are you doing, Des?
That was wild.
That's
all right. No explanation.
This fucking guy.
I'll throw it out there.
But it's more like it wasn't like that. It was more like, man, this
right
guy,
Dwayne, that's what I'm saying. It's like he's trying to be too different for the sake of being different, and it's like, all right. I mean, at some point you gotta realize.
Well, I mean, just put Florida A&M in there. Then that's different as hell.
Yeah. Well, weird choices. He's gonna end up looking really wrong. I mean, he's already become like a meme. I think like. Of course, it's Herb Street, and people.
What's the one school? Bishop Sycamore, right? You should put them in the Final Four.
Yeah, so
they're making it. They're solid.
You know what?
This fucking guy.
Oh God!
If Jalen Rose ever tries to hit a golf ball again,
what was that? Was that intentional or was that serious,
brother? Is he not an athlete? Is he not an athlete?
No, that's what I'm saying. I find it hard. He was genuinely trying to strike that ball. I feel like it was all orchestrated.
No, dude, I don't think so. I think he just blows that hard at golf. Like,
there's no way. There's no way. Hard sport.
I'm not good at it myself. I try to play it, and it's very, inconsistency at its finest. Dude, he couldn't even make contact with the ball. Like, not even like a little bit.
That's why
I agree. He was 100% trying. He's trying.
Just how he missed it like 20 times in a row.
Dude, friendly fire coming after Dez and Jalen on the first episode of TFG.
I got some shit to say about Chris Webber.
Yeah. Actually, I saw Chris Webber got lined up. He was like he was doing like these faces and showing his line. I mean, his lineup is pretty crispy, I will, but it's like,
wow.
First of all, I'm challenging the legitimacy of that hairline and the color. Because, I mean, Chris Webber is like, he's pushing 50 now, is he not?
Should we just go into all right, Juwan Howard. What do we got to say about Juwan? Now, Juwan is not dying it because he's got that pepper on top.
What I will say about Juwan was that he was killing it out there today for the first day of classes, handing out them donuts. Probably the biggest turnout that there's ever been for that little event, and looked really cool. No, I'm not going to go in on Juwan this time around.
No. He's too lovable of a guy. I don't care if he needs to put somebody in their place every now and then. Juwan Howard is he's okay.
He's all right. He's all right in our book.
Okay.
Yeah. No. Chris Webber. God, I wish I could. It's funny that you just randomly brought up Chris Webber, and I just watched him like showing off his hairline yesterday, and it was
nobody gives a shit about his hairline.
Dude, if you saw it, you would care about it. That's you speaking out of turn.
Well, you're also talking to somebody who's hair doesn't do it for me.
Look at your boy.
Now that looks like I'm sorry. It looks like a Lego. It looks like it got placed right on there. You can pop it off and put a new one on.
It's an interesting.
There's way too much friendly fire on game week here.
All right.
I love C. Webb. I love Jalen Rose. I don't love Scott Frost. I do.
34 minutes in. Let's get it. Let's get it, Chris.
Burning questions, my favorite.
Burning freaking questions, dude. It's been a while.
Here we go.
I feel really good about it being back. It's probably one of my favorite segments that we do.
I can feel the heat coming off of the keyboard when you play that music.
God, I'm supposed to play that whenever we do it.
Definitely warms the cockles of the heart.
So please don't forget about the cockles.
It warms the cockles of the heart. It warms the cockles of the heart. You want to go first?
All right, let's go. Yeah, I'll kick it off. I'll kick it off.
Oh, and we didn't determine that you brought it up. Is the quarterback stuff off limits completely?
No,
I have one.
It's not off limits.
Okay.
No,
all right,
no.
Here we go.
We'll let the quarterback stuff. We'll let it fly. It's game week. We can do whatever we want. All right. Question number one, burning question, Brandon. Is Mozzie Smith going to live up to the hype this year? We've been around him. We've heard the conversation. He's the number one freak out there, according to Feldman. Is Mozzie Smith going to live up to all the preseason hype?
I think so. I think he's ready to be a force, a leader, a disruptor. Dude, I watched the kid try to get in and out of a Corvette, and I'm not sure he's from the same planet that we're from. Like, I just can't imagine a season where he's not dominating at multiple parts throughout the game. Like, defensive tackle, we've talked about this. It's not the flashiest position. It doesn't necessarily result in a bunch of sacks or a ton of TFLs. I mean, the really good ones do. Think back to Mo Hurst and what he was able to do from the middle of the D-line. A guy like Aaron Donald in the NFL, whatever. Like, the truly elite guys, they cause a lot of problems up there in the middle. And I think Mozzie Smith is ready to make an impact from that position. I don't know what it looks like numbers-wise because, again, I think that's one of the positions where the numbers don't matter quite as much. But I do think he's going to be more productive there than he has been, and it's not going to be close. I think he's ready.
I'll keep it short. We've been around him. We've spent time around him. If he is not as dominant as he looks this year, I'm just going to be shocked. He looks like an immovable object. Like if Mozzie Smith doesn't want to move from a spot, I don't see how somebody's going to move him from that spot. But we'll see what happens this year. But my hunch is, he's going to live up to the hype and maybe then some.
I think so too. All right, Chris. I mean, we always kind of laugh when we try to do this, but please take a step inside of Jim Harbaugh's head for a second. Can you do that? It's a weird spot in there. It's weird in there. Why in year 8 is Jim Harbaugh now giving us a depth chart? What does he do? Did he lose it? I'd love it. Don't get me wrong. I'm ecstatic that he's basically laying down the entire depth chart. What's the motivation here, Chris? What do you think? So, by the way, Jim Harbaugh said... Why is that? Jim Harbaugh said, that's going to get out anyway. Why not just do it? I mean, maybe it is just that simple. I don't know. But I'm like, okay, coach, all right.
Why is that? Well, Brandon, if I were a betting man, I would say he just likes what he has.
Yeah.
And he's not worried about who's going to see it. And, now, granted, he doesn't like it enough to open up some of the fall camp and let us come see it, but he likes it enough to go ahead and throw out the depth chart and say, look, these are going to be our guys. And so I think, if anything, it speaks to the confidence he has in his team. Or it's just Jim Harbaugh just doing random shit because he just decided to do it one day and was like, meh. He also was quoting from the Bible as his reasoning for the quarterback situation. Yep. So let's try to, again, you're peering into I don't know, a mushroom trip.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I think he's at the top. He's swinging it around a little bit. He doesn't care. He's ready for 2022. He knows that he's got something good. He knows his offense is special. He knows his defense is fast and talented. And, yeah, there might just be a simple element of people always find out anyways. Who cares?
You know what, though?
I like that he did it.
I think Darren brings up an interesting point, that the team culture might have changed the way Jim Harbaugh operates. And I think maybe if you do have, culture vampires or whatever the hell they were referring to those old guys as, maybe it's harder to figure out what your depth chart is going to be and you're not really putting stuff out like that. But spending time around the team, they seem like a cohesive unit. And I feel like they already know kind of what the situation is in-house. There's no sense in delaying it.
Yeah, I actually emailed Sports Information. I was like, is there a copy of that depth chart? And they were like, no, he just said it on our podcast. I'm like, all right, well, you could go one more step, guys, but no. It's still Michigan. It's still Harbs. But no, I mean, he's obviously said more about the depth chart and who's starting than he ever has before. And I just, I like that. As people who cover the team, we're trying to get prepped for stuff and talk about different, it's awesome. I loved it. I loved hearing all those names.
All right, man. This is looking a bit down the road a little bit, but we haven't even had a game yet. And so looking ahead, we know how things played out last year, and people like to refer back to how things played out last year when I ask this question. But how big of a deal is a potential 0-3 record against Mel Tucker and the Michigan State Spartans? We know, like I said, we know what happened last year. So 0-3 might not be detrimental, but 0-3 is still 0-3. What do you think that means?
It's not good. It's certainly not a good look. I mean, you lost to them last year, but who cares? They won the Big Ten, and I think that's where a lot of Michigan fans are. We were talking about this today, though, Chris. Michigan State fans are insufferable bastards when they've got a bragging rights over Michigan. It's like, did they forget that Michigan beat Ohio State, won the Big Ten title, and made it to the playoff? Because they don't care that all those things happened because they beat Michigan.
Dude, it's like a hamster on a wheel wearing a Tuck Cummins shirt. That's it. It's just all that goes on in there.
Yeah. In the grand scheme, it might not be that big, but you just can't. You can't go 3 years in a row when you're playing good football and lose to those guys. I mean, I think that's more what it's about. Yes, in state, I saw some people bringing up the recruiting angle for kids that, in Detroit, in the area, whatever. You gotta beat them. I mean, they're still a rival. You don't want to fall to 0-3. I think you could make a pretty strong argument that Michigan was far more talented both years that they've lost to Mel Tucker and Michigan State, and then they should be again this year. So it's back at home. You're confident. You're more talented. Beat their ass, man. Shut them up. Send them back to East Lansing, dude, and get them the hell out of there. That's what needs to happen.
Yeah, I think it's a huge deal. I think that this is a game, and we talked about this, and I know that there's a lot of people out there that disagree with me, but Michigan beating Ohio State kind of gave a mulligan if they go down to Columbus and they're not able to get it done so long as it's competitive. I just don't see a scenario where you can let Michigan State come into the big house and go 2-0 against you if you're Mel Tucker and Jim Harbaugh. I mean, that's twice that this guy has come in to your stadium and handed it to you when you've had a better team. And so I feel like Michigan's really got to take care of business here. And if they go 0-3 to Michigan State, yeah, Michigan was lucky last year, but they needed some help from the outside. They needed some other things to happen. And so, again, I know that people like to refer to that, but Michigan totally lost control of their own destiny when they lost that game. And so I think it would be awful.
Graham, real quick, obviously it's a little ways down the road, but I think it's a legitimate question. He's good. Jarek Broussard, he's a good player. He's not Kenneth Walker. But then, nobody thought Kenneth Walker was Kenneth Walker last year either. Yeah. I would be beyond shocked if he gets anywhere near the production that Walker got to last year, but he's a good player. And they're excited about him, and they're gonna try to run the ball. A lot of what they did with Walker, they're gonna try to do with him, and we'll see. I think you'd be crazy not to predict a drop in production because of how good Kenneth Walker was. But he's a good player. He's a good back, and they're excited about what he can do. And dude, Jalen Berger, I know he had some up and downs or whatever his situation was at Wisconsin. I freaking loved that kid as a recruit out of New Jersey. I thought Michigan should have pursued him a little harder. Maybe I don't know why they didn't. Maybe it was some of the stuff that ended up getting him booted out of Wisconsin. But he's at Michigan State too. He's talented. They've got some backs, man. Again, Kenneth Walker was special. I don't think you're going to see that again. But they don't have scrubs back there. They've got some dudes who can play. So we'll see what that ends up looking like. All right, Chris, this is a pretty specific one. Kind of goes back to the depth chart thing again. But we heard more about it today. Obviously, Coach Harbaugh said some stuff about it on the podcast. I just want a quick, little discussion about it because it's something I didn't see coming. On a scale of 1 to 10, how surprised are you that Mason Graham is going to start at defensive tackle alongside Mozzie Smith, a guy that we have a ton of expectations for?
I'm not. I'm surprised that it's Mason Graham just because I didn't see that coming, but I'm not surprised that a freshman is starting on the defensive line. I think we knew that there was going to be, they were thin there, but I was looking at guys like Rayshawn Benny and maybe some of the other guys that were going to step up. So yeah, it's a bit of a surprise, but not as much as it would have been had they had, some depth there, but they just didn't really have it. So not a surprise.
Did you give me a number? Do you we're talking 1 through 10 scale. Like how did it rock you? Was it like,
I saw maybe like a 5 or a 6. I was
okay.
I wasn't meh. I was like,
I'd go like 7. I mean, he flashed and did some good things in spring ball. We heard his name in spring ball, and I just kind of chalked that up to here's a freshman doing well. The spring rosters are weird. Whatever. Maybe he'll be ready to play a little sooner than normal, but that's a tough spot to play as a true freshman. Along the offensive line and at D tackle, those are grown-ass, 340-pound, 22-year-old men that play in there. And here you've got this early enrolled true freshman who's cracked the starting lineup. And, Awesome, man. More power to him because Michigan was thin at that spot. And if he can truly help them and, shore up that depth a little bit, then that's great. That's a great development because I think when he signed, I don't think anybody was saying like Mason Graham's going to start at D tackle. So I think you got to chalk it up as pretty surprising. It's, I'm not saying he's going to come out and be a freshman All-American. If that happens, maybe the slider goes up a little bit. But I'd give it like a 7. I wasn't thinking like at any point during the spring that he would be a starter there. And apparently he's done really well, dude. I'm, excited to see how he looks in there.
I really love when it works out this way, when the previous topic goes right into the next one. And I think this works out well. So the question I have for you, Brandon, is based on some of what you just said, take yourself back to where you were at the beginning of the offseason and then compare it to where you're at now. Are you as, less, or more concerned about the defense?
Say
after
that
the
beginning
offseason?
part again. Back to when?
So based on what you thought about the defense heading into the offseason, the loss of Ojabo, the loss of Aiden Hutchinson, the loss of Dax Hill, everything they have to replace. Now we have some clarity on where some of those pieces are going to fit. So do you feel more confident, less confident, or do you have the same level of confidence in this defense that you had back at the beginning?
I'll say a little more. I'll say a little more confident. We've heard, Jim Harbaugh, again, like he doesn't have to say these things, and he typically doesn't unless he feels pretty strongly about stuff. And he said there's potential that this defense could be better than last year. That seems like a bit much, but he's got to be feeling good about him if he's willing to say that publicly. We talked to some players when we were following them around during the state tour. They're like, dude, we're fast. We do more. We're a little bit more versatile. We can disguise some things a little bit better. Like, we're good. People think this defense is going to take a big step back. We're not going to. DJ Turner and Jamon Green are both talking about how much faster they feel, how much more confident they feel being on an island, how much more adept they are at getting their head back and making plays on the football and trying to create turnovers. Like, they had the comfortability with Coach Clinkscale. And I don't know, man. I think the defense is going to be pretty freaking good, and I wasn't sure if that was going to be the case. I have to feel a little bit more I'll call it cautious optimism because I still think, like, dude, it's 3 first-rounders. Like, you can't discredit that. But I do think they're going to be better than I thought right away. Georgia game ends. Damn, there goes Hutchinson. There goes Ojabo. There goes Dax. There goes Josh Ross. There goes Brad Hawk. I mean, you got a lot of leadership.
Chris Hinton in the middle.
Yeah, a lot. They're not going to be very good, man. That defense is going to take a step back. They might still. I think it's going to be more minimal than I originally thought.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I thought it was going to be, it looked thin when you looked at who they were losing after that year. And then as the offseason progressed and you started to hear some of the things coming out of camp, spend a little time around the team, and then you see the depth chart. And I like the pieces they have in place. I don't know if that makes me a homer or if it's just my fandom, but I like the pieces that they currently have in place defensively to the point where I think, you've got the first 4 weeks to get any of the kinks out defensively. And I think by the time they go to Iowa, I would expect them to once again be one of the top defensive units in the country, top 20, top 25, right? That's fair.
Yeah. Part of that's because of who they're going to play. Dude,
sure.
they're going to whomp those first
destroy
4 teams. Yeah. And so, but dude, that is great for confidence. That is great for guys feeling like they know what they're doing, playing fast. That's great for a new play caller in Jesse Minner. That's good for a lot of reasons, and I think it's going to lend itself well to Michigan having a solid defensive unit. Dude, we know they've got talent. We know they've got bodies. They just haven't played a lot. Jalen Harrell hasn't been on the field. Dude, like, I want that dude out there, just looking at him, seeing a couple flashes from last year.
Yeah.
Put him out there. Mozzie. Starting to be more productive, making plays. Junebug.
Mike Morris, right? Yeah.
Sophomore Junebug, dude. Junior Colson flying around. I feel pretty good about it, dude. I do. I feel pretty good about it. Sticking with the defense, another surprise to me on the depth chart, Mikey Sainristil, captain, starter at cornerback or nickel or wherever, exactly where he's going to factor in. Chris, what would a successful season look like for Mike Sainristil at corner? Because I've got to be honest, when he moved from wide receiver to corner, thought it was kind of a token move. I'm like, he'll play, but I don't know. what can you really expect from a guy moving this late in his career? Michigan's got some DBs. Like, I don't know. And now he's a starter and a captain. Like, he's going to be out there a lot, it sounds like. So what is a successful season for Mike Sainristil?
I mean, are you talking production? Or are you talking about just kind of like a
whatever you
1,000-foot
think? Because I think him being named a starter, he's already eclipsed my expectations. So I'm just wondering, like, where can he get to? What's it going to look like?
I would say he looks comfortable out there as a starter. Like, that's my thing is, how is it going to look? Hold on. I'm going to have to come back. Got the echo. I'll come right back in.
So while Chris is figuring that out, this isn't a knock on Mike Sainristil's ability. It's just, you're talking about a fourth year guy, switching positions to a position that, wasn't very thin. I mean, whatever you think about the corners, if you don't think DJ Turner's All-American, if you don't think Devon Green's an All Big Ten guy, like, whatever. I mean, I think they're going to get a look. They're going to get a chance to play in the NFL. Like, they're good players. Will Johnson coming in, Rod Moore playing a little bit of everywhere. I just didn't think there was a very easy path for Mike Sainristil to play, and now he's being listed as a starter. So, Chris, as you were saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really going to be, I think he's going to look good the first 4 weeks of the season. It's going to be when they get, you play against Michigan State, Penn State, Ohio State. Like, is he able to hang it? Because I thought the same thing. I thought, okay, they're making this move because there's not enough room in the wide receiver room. He's played that position before in high school, so we'll put him over there and maybe he'll get some reps there. To hear that he's starting, I mean, we've heard things come out of camp and that he's playing really well. This is not a token move. That Mike Sainristil is clearly one of the top guys out there.
It made some plays in the spring game. Looked pretty damn good out there.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, my expectation, for it to look like a success is for him to look like a starter. If he can go because don't forget, he made some of the most incredible catches like last year, the year before. I mean, some one-handed snags. Like, he was a great receiver. And the fact that they couldn't find space for him in this group, some of that athleticism is going to transfer over. He's played the position before. I would say if he looks like he belongs out there the first 4 weeks, I will call that a success, because I thought it was just going to be like hey, if there's garbage time, you can get out there and play. And that's not at all what it is.
That's exactly where I'm at. I mean, just kind of how I said going through the question, I just thought it was kind of like a token depth move. Like, get a body over there. Maybe you can get something out of him. He's a smart kid. Obviously, everybody on the team loves him. He's a captain. You can bring something to that room. Cool. We'll see what it looks like. Yeah, so much for that, dude. Dude's going to play. Dude's going to be on the field locking down receivers. I think that's a big deal, and I'm super pumped for him, dude. I mean, I wonder if even he thought, like, I'm going to go over there and get a starting job. I mean, these guys are confident, but like, that's just a hard thing to do. I mean, that's a hard thing to do.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to ask you a question, Brandon, that I have been asked repeatedly over the last couple of days. I've seen it on social media, so I'm just going to ask you, and I don't even think I have to be specific. You'll know what I'm talking about. What happens if both guys play well? Week 1, week 2. What happens if you get a situation where both guys just play really well?
We talked about this. We talked about this on Saturday, you and I, with the emergency podcast when the announcement came out. I think it's going to be really, really hard to go back to Cade, another change, even if they both play well. If Cade plays well, JJ plays well, why do you go back? I mean, I don't know, dude. I just think it's going to be really hard to pull the switcheroo again and change your quarterback for the third week in a row.
I mean, that's what people and fans make a good point. People that have talked about it, you would expect whoever the quarterback is to play well over the first two opponents. And so, I don't know what you do. I'm erring on the side of, I can't forget, or I can't remember who said it, but I saw it pop up in the comments there that if all things are equal, you go with the younger guy. Like, that's just what you do. And we know that not all things are equal because we know the athleticism is not equal. There you go. So Craig Rock. Yeah, exactly. You start the younger guy if it's equal, but it's not equal. It's really not, because if it is equal, JJ still has that other element.
How about the comment right before Craig, though? I mean, this is where we're at.
Yeah, right.
You defer to the veteran. Of course, you go with the veteran, the guy who did it last year. You start the younger guy if it's equal, of course. It's tough, dude. It is a tough predicament. And I just personally think it's a weird vibe. If you're going to go with JJ in week 2 and if he doesn't do anything wrong, why go back again to Cade? It's strange. I'm glad we're going to get to see it. I'm glad it's not all taking place behind closed doors, but it is strange, man. It's weird how you're going to get to a decision that way and then try to figure out who. I don't know, man.
At least we know the first 2 weeks. The first 2 weeks are going to be very, very interesting. It's going to be must-see TV, man. That's what, somebody said it was the greatest, one of Jim Harbaugh's greatest marketing tactics was this. I don't think that has anything to do with it. Like I said, he was quoting Bible verses as his reasoning for doing it. So I don't know what the reasoning is. All I know is it's going to be real exciting. And I think probably prices of tickets went up considerably for week 2 under the lights.
So, again, a perfect segue into my fourth question. Jim Harbaugh said that it didn't. He said that he was not worried about it at all in today's landscape of college football. Chris, in your heart of hearts, does this QB decision, start Cade week 1, start JJ week 2, does this have anything to do with the transfer portal and the potential for one of these guys bolting out of town?
No, I think he just genuinely, here's what I think it is. And it's purely speculating, but here's what I think it is. They know that Cade is a steady hand. They know that they can count on him, but they have seen JJ continue to do some incredible things throughout camp. They've also seen him force the issue a handful of times. They want to get him into a game where they can see, like, is it going to be as good as we think, or does it have the potential to be catastrophic? I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they're going to unleash JJ. And once you do that, I just don't see it going back. I don't see how you go back.
That's what I said on Saturday. I think putting the toothpaste back in the tube at that point is real, real tricky. And
like, even if he makes some mistakes on the field, even if JJ makes some mistakes, but has an overall spectacular game, like, even then, I don't know how you say, well, there's still too much risk there. I know both of these guys are kind of wired in a way, just be the guy, the glue, man, stick it out, the tough nose, I put in my sweat equity. I still find it hard to believe that one of them won't transfer. I just, dude. Well, I mean, if JJ gets the job, Cade, I don't think Cade's going to hang around.
So that's why I wonder if Harbaugh. I mean, maybe he's just wired in such a way, and he's so old school that he doesn't think the transfer situation is going to be a problem, and so he really means it when he says, "No, I didn't make this decision to keep one of them from transferring." I really think that one of them is going to have a really hard decision to make, and staying flat out doesn't make any sense. I mean, it just doesn't. I can't really get there. So, like, that's tough, dude. That's a tough thing to try to predict and get into Harbaugh's head, get into the quarterback's heads. What are they really thinking if one of them whoever doesn't win the job wants to play? I mean, that's as simple as it is.
Put it this way. I mean, you hear people talk about risk all week with this, and as it relates to JJ McCarthy. There is also a risk that you're going to lose one of these guys based on whatever decision you make. I would be, from a fan perspective, devastated if JJ McCarthy entered the transfer portal after what that recruitment was like, just the whole lead up to it. I feel like, why are we waiting? Like, this is why he was recruited to come here. You're giving him week 2 under the lights. He's going to play well. I appreciate you, Cade, and I'm glad he's getting the week 1 start. But, unless JJ completely falls apart against Hawaii, which, I mean, I don't see happening. Vanderbilt didn't fall apart against Hawaii, so I don't think Michigan's going to. I just don't know how you go back to it without putting a sour taste in now JJ's mouth. Because if he goes out and plays well, he's going to think he's made his case.
Yeah.
And if Cade goes out and plays well, he's going to think he's made his case. So it's really just a shit sandwich is what it is.
That's the funniest part, though. Did Cade not make a case last year? I mean, good Lord, what's the kid got to do?
But, okay, so here's the thing. Is the fact that we're even in this situation, is that an answer in and of itself? The fact that we even have to do this the first 2 weeks after Cade did what he did last year, the fact that we even have to do this, doesn't that tell you something?
Well, my devil's advocate flip side answer would be JJ hasn't run away with this damn job yet. Doesn't that tell you something? Just go with Cade, man. He got it done. And you know where I fall on this. I just think that all of those angles of looking at this thing are legitimate.
But
valid.
how do you well, that's the thing. It's not necessarily that Cade has done anything to lose the job, because by all accounts, I mean, you heard what Revson said. The ball never hit the ground. When Cade went to the podium, he said just as much. I'm playing my best football. I'm hitting everything at the moment. So he's confident in his level of play. The fact that they're needing to take it this far, I don't know what. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I guess that could say, like, is he trying to, like, say, JJ, come on, like, get ready. Let's go. We need you. You know, we got to find. I don't know, man. It's weird. Yeah. But I tell you this, I don't hate it. I'm not upset about it.
I've seen some people about.
Yeah, I've seen some people saying like this is gonna, you know, it's a terrible decision. It's gonna destroy this, that. I love it, man. From an entertainment standpoint, I'm all about it. This is what I want to see the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, I think it's like I said, it certainly makes for some intrigue that otherwise wasn't going to be there because Michigan is going to win by 60. And then again, we've already brought this up too. All right, cool. Cade, you're starting week 1. JJ, you're starting week 2. They both hand it off 50 times, throw it 12 times for a $114 and a ton. I mean, like, what?
That's not
I don't know.
Happen.
I'm just anxious to see it all. I'm anxious to see all of it. All right, I think you got one more.
I do have one more.
Right.
Well, this kind of plays into the same type of conversation. I guess we'll figure out here in the near future how likely it is. But I'll ask you, does a University of Michigan quarterback break the elusive 27 touchdown pass record in 2022? Does a Michigan quarterback throw more than 27 touchdowns in 2022? Now, keep in mind, for a comparison, what was it? Justin Fields had 55, or Dwayne Haskins had what, like
Haskins
80?
Had 50. Joe Burrow had 60.
There we go. So to keep it in perspective, like, really, you know, those are really good seasons. We're talking 27. Does it happen? Yes, Tim, 27 touchdown passes in a single season.
I gotta think no. That offensive line is going to be so good. Donovan Edwards and Blake Corum are so good. I just think no. I don't think they're going to throw it enough to get there. Certainly talented enough. Certainly have the weapons on the outside. Certainly could scheme up an advantage in the passing game to get to that number. I don't think it's going to happen. In my heart, I just don't see the ball in the air enough to get to that number. No,
me either. No, I want it to happen. I think it would be phenomenal for it to happen. I think it would be great for a Michigan quarterback to go out and just, you know, it's been so long since there has just been like the guy as the Michigan quarterback, like around the country. And, you know, Denard Robinson, I know a lot, say what you want about what his shortcomings were, but he was the closest thing to like just pure electricity at that position that Michigan's ever had. So now at this point, I feel like, you know, if JJ's the guy, we know what he brings to the table. I feel like there's a realistic possibility that 27 is going to happen. But based on the fact that they're going to split this a little bit, and we don't know what that offense is going to look like quite yet, I have a hard time believing they're going to get past that 27.
I just can't see it. I just can't see it, man. Even if it's Cade, no. What did he have last year? 15?
15.
He's not doubling that. No. And if it's JJ, I just don't think they're going to change the offense enough to really have it make a big enough difference.
How do you not? Isn't that why you go with him?
Well,
we'll find out. What does the offense look like week 1 compared to week 2? Can you do more? We already know you can do more things with JJ. That's why they brought him out last year. You can do more packages with him. So I think the offense is going to look a little bit different with JJ behind center. And like I said, then you turn on the lights, you get, you know, everybody wearing the maize, the Seven Nation Army and all that shit going on. It's going to be lights out.
All right.
That's it.
God, I just want to see that. I want to see JJ throw 40 touchdowns this year, dude. How awesome would that be? And then you compliment it. Then you compliment it with Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards.
Dude, Ronnie Bell, Andrell Anthony, Cornelius Johnson, Darius just go Roman Wilson. They have somebody said this the other day on Facebook that they said, I think this is the most weapons Michigan has had in my lifetime. And I could tell they were roughly my age, just based on appearances. And I feel the same way. Like offensively, these guys are stacked. So there's questions defensively, but on the offensive side of the ball, yeah, could a quarterback throw 27 touchdowns in this offense if it was allowed to? Yeah, I think you could almost double that up.
That's it. That's the $1 million question. It's about the offense allowing that many throws to happen. That's
also
really
didn't say anything about Eric All, who looks like he's put on about 80 pounds of muscle too. I mean, red zone, get him the ball. They should be throwing a lot of TDs. Donovan Edwards, who had 11 receptions for 155 yards against Maryland. I mean, that's a guy who's a receiving threat who can also throw it deep. Maybe to JJ, who also goes downfield and throws blocks from time to time. This offense can be crazy.
Yeah. All right, last but not least here, big picture question here, Chris, before we get ready to kick off the season and really focus in on,
let's hear it.
Colorado State and the actual matchup of this weekend, and then next week we'll get into the specific, we know how that's going to roll from here on out. Big picture. Does anyone in the Big Ten have what it takes to beat Ohio State or Michigan? Is it Michigan and Ohio State winning the Big Ten this year for sure? One of those two. Or does anybody else have even an outside chance at challenging? We're back to 1988, dude. It's the Big Two. It's the Little Eight. It's Michigan and Ohio State, and everybody else is just fighting for table scraps.
Yes, it's Michigan State. As much as I hate to admit it.
Wow.
Michigan State, look, Michigan State has zero fear coming to Ann Arbor this year. I truly believe that. They're looking at potentially going 3-0. Mel Tucker's got that team confident as hell. I think Michigan State's capable of knocking off either one, Michigan or Ohio State. And I hate Michigan State.
Do you remember how it looked against Ohio State last year for the Spartans?
I do. But you know what? The Spartans are also one of those teams that'll look like shit for a portion of the year, and then they'll come out and play incredible, usually against Michigan. But they've got that in them. They can do that. And so, yeah, I still think it's Michigan State. Even though I hate them, I like what Mel Tucker is doing. Not with the social media stuff and the me, and, the chop life and all the bullshit. But I think he's got buy-in from his team. He's getting the guys he wants. And I think he's a legitimate threat to knock off Michigan and to knock off Ohio State.
I really think that Michigan and Ohio State are in another tier this year. But it's college football. I mean, you're right, dude. Any team, any week. I saw someone say, Nebraska almost beat Michigan. That wasn't Nebraska.
Rutgers was giving Michigan a hard time.
Just a 7-point win.
Is that all it was last year? It was 7 points against
Rutgers. 20-13.
That's wild.
Michigan only, Michigan up 16 against Ohio State. Michigan State finds a way to lose that one. So I get it. But I do think that Ohio State and Michigan are the class of the Big Ten, and it's by a decent amount this year. I feel that. I feel Michigan's offense is going to be special. I feel that offensive line is going to be
allowed to be
dominant. I think the defense is going to be better, again, like you asked earlier, better than I thought. I think they're going to be a problem. I think they're going to be favored by a substantial amount in every game until that showdown in Columbus. And depending on how it looks by then, they might not even be the dog in that one. I don't know. I mean, a lot of people are – Ohio State seems to be maybe even more of a popular pick to win it all than Bama. But
was Michigan not a favorite in 2019 or 2018 when they went to Columbus?
They got housed by
they got boat raced. But I do believe they were the favorite. They were the favorite there. So I'm not sure why.
I still think Michigan and Ohio State, like I said, are on another level. And that's how I would answer that question. But any week, dude, any week. That's why you play them.
Well, here's until Jim Harbaugh proves he can beat Mel Tucker, I'm always going to view Michigan State as a legitimate threat. So there's that.
That's not unfair. That is not unfair at this point.
Wow. That was a loaded show. Loaded
shows are what we're about here, dude.
That's what we're about. Oh my, we're going back. One last time. I will say one last thing about that RV. We thanked a lot of people, but I mean, the people here, look at the comments coming in the entire show. If you guys, Go ahead.
Wait, somebody asked about this earlier, and we were kind of on a roll, so we missed it. She's got a name.
She does have a name. Yeah.
First of all, officially, it's being recognized on a grand scale as the command center.
The command center.
The command center. Unofficially, our baby, the big bad. Well, I'm not going to say the whole thing. She's bad. We're going with Rosie. She's Rosie. And there's a reason for it. Not going to get into that. Might be.
We don't need to. Yeah. We don't need to get into it. But she is Rosie.
An email from Rosie O'Donnell, all right? That's all I'll say.
So what I want to say is we thanked a lot of people for the reason why we're able to do, the RV stuff. But honestly, it's, look at the comments that are coming in. It's hundreds of comments throughout the show. It's tons of participation. You guys are about as active of a group as there is out there. CJ Frazier, he's one of the OGs. We're going to roll up in Iowa City and see him out there. I mean, this is what it's all about. And if it wasn't for you guys participating in this literally isn't happening. There's no reason to do an RV. There's no reason to do 5 shows a week. There's no reason to do any of that. So thank you is what I'm saying. Thank you. While Brandon dicks with his phone. You killed the moment. You killed it. You killed the sentimental moment with the fans. You killed it.
It was a nice moment, but CJ hit it on the head with the kind of music we were looking for. Picture me rolling, dude. Pac. Late 90s West Coast, dude.
I mean, we're not going to be, we're not going to be playing, you're not going to hear, I don't want to offend anybody.
You're not going to hear any Neil Diamond coming out of there. You're not going to hear any Billy Joel.
Are we going to get some Ba with a Ba? You got to have Ba with a Ba. Can you have Ba with a Ba?
We had a pretty funny conversation about where we fall on Kid Rock, and
well, not great.
I mean,
but a lot of people fall on him that way. But there will not be Kid Rock in the RV. We'll just put it out there.
Listen, Sweet Caroline has kind of run its course with me a little bit. I understand. You get a couple beers in you. You got some nice ladies around you. You put some Sweet Caroline on at the bar. It does pretty well. I get it. We will not be playing Mr. Brightside from the RV. Come on, dude.
Listen, we'll have to talk about this offline. Brandon and I, maybe this year we're going to come to blows because I have evolved on Mr. Brightside. I've evolved. I've come out of I was a moth before, and now I've hatched and become a beautiful Mr. Brightside butterfly. Look at me.
Yeah, Pump It Up. We actually thought about rolling that out today for the music. For the unveil, just went a different.
You'll hear it all. You'll hear all the tracks. You're just not going to hear Neil Diamond. So,
I mean, I don't hate Neil Diamond.
I don't like it,
but yeah, Chris does have it tatted on his skin. That's a fact.
I have to like it. Now.
Unbelievable! What a show! What a show on Monday at Game Week. We will be back
Game Week
on Wednesday again. Fan-led Wednesday. Bring your friends. Yes. Bring your friends, bring your questions, bring your energy. We'll be ready to roll.
Bring your drinks, have a brew, bring something to snack on. We're going to pack it in for an hour. Ask any question you want. See, I tripped myself up on that pack it in for an hour. I thought you might do the record scratch. We'll see you Wednesday. Let's show. And we're going to
Wednesday night, 7:00. We'll be back. Jeez Louise, it's time to go, dude. You're packing stuff in over there. I don't even know. 7:00, Tim. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7:00. We'll see you guys soon.